Cassia Leo. I am the author of contemporary romance and romantic suspense novels and novellas. I've actually been writing since I was very young. I ended up having a very deep love of reading and writing. By the time I was 8, I was putting New York Times bestselling author on my little homemade notebooks. Shortly after I graduated from high school, I got pregnant with my daughter. I sort of gave up on writing at the time because I didn't think it was a very practical pursuit for a single mother. It wasn't until I was about 28 when I decided that I wanted to try and actually write a novel instead of just starting one and then never finishing it. I was working as the assistant to the vice president of a large government contractor. Many people had been laid off in like the year or two before, and so I knew it was gonna come soon. When the president came into my office, I knew what it meant, but all I kept thinking in my head was, I finally have no excuse not to write. That was when indie publishing was just starting to take off, and I was on a writer's message board, and they were talking a lot about KDP and Amazon and how a lot of people were finding success, and I decided to try and finish writing the novel I had been working on for 6 years. I decided I was going to just move to Portugal and take 6 months off of everything and just do nothing but write. And I lived in a 114-year-old house with me and my daughter, and I mean, the plumbing hardly worked. The water heater worked about 5 minutes a day. Eventually, I got a few novels finished and I came back, and at the time I was living with my sister's in-laws, who I hardly knew at all. About 6 months later, things really started to take off. The first book that I wrote that hit the USA Today list was in February of 2013. I had just 6 months before been basically homeless, so it was a very emotional moment for me.
It's really nice to relax and unwind in my own home now. I like to pour myself a glass of wine, sit down with a good book. Before I was sort of drifting from house to house.
Amazon helped me with my success because they gave me a platform that was easy to understand, and Amazon was really the tipping point for me because I didn't really see much success on any of the other platforms. It makes a difference when you have so many points of discoverability for your book, whereas you don't really have that on other platforms. I've had a really good experience with readers from other countries reaching out to me. It's really interesting to see how everybody comes to the story from the same place, no matter where they're from. If you write the story with the essential elements in mind, anybody can relate to it. And reaching the audience via KDP has been a real blessing. It's been like a dream come true.